Every single one of us, especially entrepreneurs and high achieving people, want to perform at our best. We want to have great health, be in great shape, have loads of energy, and not ever get sick. We want to optimize our health in a way that doesn't get in the way of our business, right? At the same time, most people are taking health and fitness advice from bodybuilders on steroids that's made for other bodybuilders on steroids, and it doesn't work. These people have all the time and the energy to train and eat and sleep, and they're enhanced, and it doesn't work for people like me and you who have semi-normal lives, or we're business owners with loads of stress. The typical bodybuilding advice online is made for those kinds of people and not for you. That is not the lifestyle that allows you to actually restore and optimize your health and actually get in shape. Now, one thing a lot of people overlook is stress, and how much stress actually plays a factor when it comes to your health, right? It's not just calories in and calories out and, walking 10K steps and tracking your calories, high protein, lifting heavy weights, getting stronger. That stuff you need to do to a certain point. You need to do it right with the right intention and the right intensity, right? But outside of that, your stress bucket massively impacts your results. If you're overly stressed, your hormones are going to be tanked. You're going to ruin your gut health. You're not going to absorb nutrients properly. Your testosterone is going to be low. It's going to be harder to gain muscle, to burn fat. Your body's going to store fat and break down muscle. Your stress is going to stay elevated. You're going to ruin your sleep. Everything gets ruined when your stress bucket is full and you're not managing that properly. Your stress is directly tied to how you will look and feel. And this is a one thing that no one seems to actually figure out how to manage their chronic stress. As an entrepreneur, you've got client calls, you've got sales calls, you're managing people, you're hiring, you're firing, you've got all these other calls you're doing, you've got messages and emails, and on top of that, you've got your personal life. So with all of that, your stress bucket is pretty much usually always full. And so if you hire a fitness coach and they tell you, okay, we're going to get you in the gym 4 to 5 days a week, you're going to do 4 sets, we're going to do 7 exercises each day, you're going to walk 10,000 steps and also do running 2 times per week, and you have to track every single calorie, it doesn't work. And so when your stress bucket is already full and you have to train more and also restrict your calories even more, this is more stress on your bucket that's already full. And so what happens, your cortisol goes up, your recovery goes down, your sleep gets broken, your food isn't able to get broken down, your nutrients don't get absorbed, your metabolism slows down, everything gets ruined, which leads to you storing more belly fat, breaking down more muscle, walking around with brain fog and low energy, and your life will suck. This puts your body in a state of trying to survive and not actually thriving, growing and recovering, and actually giving you tons of energy to actually live your life properly. Now, I see this all the time with entrepreneurs. They've already filled out their schedule from top to bottom and they are trying to get in shape, or maybe they're training for a fight or something, and they just completely overdo it and burn themselves out. And this was me years ago. At the time, I was, I wanted to get in great shape. I wanted to learn how to fight. I was competing for fights. I wanted to build a business. I was also working a 9-to-5 job. Every minute of every second, I was continually doing something. And on top of that, I was training. Well, I guess the main things that was ruining my recovery and my results, causing me to feel like shit, was I was training like 6 days per week. Most of those days was like a double session. So like boxing and then MMA. And maybe I worked out in the morning as well. I did weights, and I'd be working all day. If I wasn't working, I'd be listening to an audiobook or a YouTube video, or doing some kind of like productive habit to just keep myself busy and occupied, because I was just so addicted to having high cortisol and just doing things and being stimulated, right? And these were the days where I burnt out every 2 to 3 days. I would wake up tired with no morning wood. I'd be wired at nighttime. I could never actually get properly lean, even though I was having like 1,800 calories, which is super low considering how much I was moving my body. I was always storing body fat. I wasn't able to like actually build muscle properly, and life just sucked, but I thought it was just part of the process. Now, when it comes to actually getting in shape and staying in great shape, meaning at least around 15% body fat, having lean muscle mass, you don't need to train more than 2 to 3 times per week. Right now, I'm currently training twice per week in the gym. I'm around 12% body fat. You've seen my physique throughout this video so far. I feel great. My other 3 days I'm training boxing because that's my main goal right now. I'm improving as a martial artist, but the quality of the inputs matters a lot more than the junk volume and all this bullshit that fitness coaches will advise you to do. Now, a lot of fitness coaches will simply just tell you to walk 10,000 steps per day, track your calories and macros. It doesn't matter the quality of the food, the timing of the food. They don't worry about your sleep, about your hormones, about your blood work, about your digestion. They don't look at any of that when it comes to your real health. They just think, calories in versus calories out, which has been debunked massively. I'm going to put a few studies up here, which pretty much proves that there's a lot more factors that come into play when you want to get in good shape, to look good, and obviously to feel good. But even looking good comes down to a lot more than calories in versus calories out. Now, you don't need to be in the gym more than 2 to 3 times per week. If you're lifting with the correct technique, you're getting stronger, or having some kind of progressive overload, whether you're adding a rep every single week or just adding 1 kilo cardio every single week, right? 2 to 3 days per week with great sleep, good digestion, good hormones, and actually managing your stress properly will give you much better results than you overly stressing your body, training 5 days per week, added cardio, running 10, 20,000 steps per day, eating nutrient dead foods. Focus on quality inputs. 2 to 3 days per week, getting stronger with the right intensity, the right technique, the right form, eating nutrient dense foods. You still have to have high protein and not have too much fat, and you have enough carbohydrates to fuel you throughout the day, right? You still can track your calories. I'm not against that entirely. But when you focus on the other inputs and make sure it is of quality, you'll get much better results. And that's simply because your internal health systems are not fried. Your cortisol isn't high all day, which lowers your testosterone. You're not going to ruin your thyroid if you're prone to that like I am. You're not going to sabotage your gut health, meaning it's not even able to break down the food, absorb the nutrients, and improve your metabolism. So trust me, guys, don't be that person who thinks you just need to do more and work harder and push through that you're going to get better results, because that's not the case when it comes to getting in shape and optimizing your health. A lot of it comes down to removing and not adding. You need to manage your stress bucket properly and focus on quality inputs, because as I said, if you don't, you're going to keep burning out, you're going to have hormonal issues, you're going to break down muscle mass, you're going to store more fat, and you're going to make inconsistent progress. Now, if you guys want to learn how I restore and optimize all of my clients' health using science-backed systems and real data, building it as a personalized protocol around their busy business schedule, then you can click the link in the description and I'll show you exactly how I do that. But besides that, have a good one. Ciao.